People say, listen to your gut when it comes to relationships. But what does that even mean? If you have a gut feeling that something is wrong, should you listen to it? How can you know if your gut is right or wrong? Don't worry, I've got you covered. I work with people all the time to figure out what their gut feelings mean and what to do with them. And now I'll give you tips on how to make sure your head and your heart and your gut are all on the same page. In relationships, sometimes you just know something is off. You feel it in your stomach, that twisting, sinking feeling that something just isn't right. A mistake that most women make is not listening to their gut. It's so important to pay attention when these gut feelings come up. Ignore them at your own peril. So, let's check in with our favorite fictional couple, Jack and Sally. They had a big conversation last week that left Sally feeling a little, well, upset. Here's what went down. It was supposed to be a really fancy date night. Jack got reservations at an exclusive restaurant, Sally got all dressed up, and off they went. It was a beautiful night. They had wine, they had caviar, they had snails for some reason, and then, as they were finishing up dessert, Jack did something Sally did not see coming. He pulled out a ring, got down on one knee, and oh no, Sally was not prepared for this. She didn't think they were that serious yet. Jack had never brought up the idea of marriage before, and now she's put on the spot in front of all of these people with their phones out and, hands by their face in awe of what will she do, and she didn't know whether she wants to say yes or no. Sally heard people say before that if a man loves you and proposes, you should just say yes. Don't think twice. But she's thinking 2, 3, even 8 times now. She's stuck and embarrassed and doesn't know how to answer. So she says yes, because obviously saying no would make a huge scene and she really doesn't want to do that. Jack is so excited. He puts the ring on her finger and he stands smiling to everyone around. Sally tries to smile and play along, but she knows in her gut that this isn't right. It's just not what she wants right now. But what if she's just nervous and Jack is really the one? He's nice and smart and he's got a good job and they get along great. Maybe this is the right choice. But she just can't shake that feeling in her gut. How can she know whether to listen to her head or listen to her heart? Have you ever been stuck in a situation where you weren't sure whether or not to listen to your gut? Let me know in the comments below. It's actually a really common scenario, especially in dating, because often your gut feelings are trying to tell you something that your head is missing, and it can be hard to tell which to listen to. Sometimes people don't think twice and just jump right in, but you should take some time to figure out what your feelings are first. So here's a couple of things that you can do if you find yourself stuck like Sally, not knowing which way to go with your relationship. These are useful to you no matter the situation. First, find someone else to talk to who's not involved. This is especially important if your partner has a strong personality, is pushy, or likes to be right all the time. You don't want him to invalidate your feelings while you're trying to figure them out. If you're having trouble with your boyfriend like Sally is, or with another person for that matter, talk to someone you trust. It can even be your therapist. Just make sure it's someone who makes good life choices. That's another mistake most women make. Seriously, if you're getting advice from someone whose own life is a total shit show, who constantly has relationship drama, they cannot help you. Pick a person who has their life together. Now that you've found someone to talk to, actually talk to them. Saying your feelings out loud gives you clarity. Talking it out with someone else gives you a different perspective as well. They may even see some of your blind spots that you are missing because it's another person getting a look at what's going on inside of you. Once you have more clarity, then you need to talk to your partner. Don't keep your feelings bottled up. Whatever the problem is that you're dealing with, whether he proposed too soon or did something else you don't like, it will only get solved through meaningful conversations together. Since you took the time to get clear on your gut feelings and your thoughts, you will be more prepared for that particular conversation. Make sure you share your misgivings and talk about what's not working for you. Ideally, he will be willing to have an open conversation with you about it. And if he's not, that's a red flag. For example, with Jack and Sally, she talked to a friend and realized that Jack was moving way too fast for her. She isn't ready and wants to keep dating for a while before making a serious decision like marriage or engagement. So Sally goes back to Jack and tells him that she really likes him and wants to keep dating, but she doesn't want to get engaged and married yet, and shouldn't have said yes to his proposal. Jack, being the great guy that he is, understands and is willing to talk about it. He's a bit sad, and he also realizes he should have talked to Sally about this beforehand, before they both rushed into it. For you, in this conversation, watch for his reaction. Notice how your guy takes this information, as that will tell you a lot about how open he is. Is he being open, willing, and receptive like Jack? Or is he getting defensive and rude, or coming up with all the excuses and reasons for why you shouldn't feel the way that you feel? If a man does this, watch out. If he's saying, don't think twice, just listen to me, no matter what the situation, then you should be very worried. When either of you bring up a concern about the relationship, you should have a safe and open space with each other. And if you don't feel like you do, that is a red flag. If a man reacts negatively to you being honest and open, then take note, because if he isn't willing to listen now, when you're just dating, he likely isn't going to become more willing to listen down the line. If a man loves you and is willing to listen and wants to make a change, then that's a really good sign. You want to be able to talk to yourself and say, I feel so safe around you, and then be able to speak your mind. Also, just a quick side note, I know the idea of a surprise proposal is super romantic, like you're on a beach at sunset after having just rode dolphins and had the best day ever. And I don't want to burst your bubble, but I'm going to anyway. If the proposal is the first time you're hearing about marriage, that's not a great sign. Why, you ask? Because the truth is, you should be talking about the future in marriage way before anyone gets on one knee. If a man loves you, he will understand. So remember to listen to your gut feelings. Talk about them out loud with a trusted friend and then act on them. Get your heart and your head on the same page. Then you'll be making choices that are true and authentic for you.